Yeah, that makes sense. About 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Blackmagic just released a camera app update. And so, of course, here I am. Now, before we jump into the update, just a couple little housekeeping things. Hello, it's been a while. It's been a couple weeks. I've been on a huge production out in Reno. I'm so excited to show and tell more about it in the coming weeks and months. It was an absolute blast, but I'm back now, and you're going to start to see more uploads from me again. And also, other Blackmagic news, a couple days ago, they did a 40% off their Blackmagic Cinema Camera 6K full frame cameras to where now you can get it for $1,500. I know a couple regions have already sold out. The last time I checked, at least, the US market still has some stuff in stock. I'll try to leave some links in the description below if you're trying to pick one up. But anyways, as of a couple minutes ago, Blackmagic decided to release a camera app update. And this one isn't insanely huge, but there is one feature that I've been begging for since day one, and I'm really excited to see it finally implemented. So let's dive in. So support for Blackmagic Cloud organizations. So obviously for a while now, you've been able to log into your Blackmagic Cloud account and upload proxies and all that. But this is for the newer cloud organizations, which is for much larger companies who have like different departments. They've kind of just added the integration into the camera app. So now you can kind of go put those clips and media to the specific departments within your organization. It looks like we have a new frame overlay. So if I go on here to frame overlays, we have 235, 239, and 2761. So if you want that really, really wide screen effect, you have a new aspect ratio overlay. Pretty cool. Ability to customize grid overlay opacity. So I'm guessing if I go to camera, then probably monitor, grid opacity. So if I put this at 100, it's for the grid, not aspect. Is it for the aspect ratio? All right, listen, it's past 1 a.m. I'm really tired when I made this. I spent like 5 minutes trying to explain this feature. All it is, you know, like the rule of thirds, the grid lines. Well, you can change the opacity now. Here's 100%, here's 25%. You can adjust it somewhere in between that. That's it, that's the feature. Address issue where audio input source could automatically be reset to none in some cases. This is something that I was worried about. Like if I am using my like Rode Wireless Pro plugged into the phone and you like leave the app and then come back after some time, is it still going to have that as the audio source? I'm always scared, and I always check my audio source before I start recording big clips. Thankfully, I've never really had that issue. If you have an external mic plugged in, it's pretty good about like picking that as the source, but clearly that's a bug that some people had, so nice to see that addressed. Addressed incorrect image preview when anamorphic desqueeze option is enabled. Another bug addressed right there. I haven't seen that personally, but cool. All right, so now we get to our kind of 3 bigger features here. So support for enabling frame guide, safe area, and other options on HDMI output. So this is something new. Obviously, we've been able to connect to an HDMI out display before, but now if we go under monitor, HDMI out, and now we have a drop down of what we will actually see. And this kind of falls in line with the Blackmagic cameras. You can do a clean feed out, but now you can turn on all these different status texts and focus assist and all this. So that's really cool to see. I know there's a lot of people who use iPhones and the Blackmagic camera app for things like podcasts, recording interviews. You just hook this up to a big monitor. Now you can get all your useful information you want. So this one, if you find yourself recording like long takes on the phone, but you don't necessarily need to see a nice bright preview on the monitor, to help, I'm guessing, save a lot of battery life, since the screen takes a lot of battery life, while you're recording. So if I press record here and then I swipe to the right, it dims the whole display, but we can still see a nice bright recording runtime, our record button down there. And so we can tell that everything's still working. It just dims the display down to hopefully save battery life. I definitely want to test this in kind of a more long-term review of this feature to see like how beneficial is it, but it's a really cool feature to have. And remember, you have to be recording. If you're not recording and you just swipe right, nothing's gonna happen. And finally, the biggest feature that I'm most excited for is we finally have off-speed recording internally. We've been able to shoot 4K 60 for quite some time. I can go into my frame rates, I can go up to 60 and shoot a high-speed clip. But if I wanted to slow this down, I always have to then transfer this to my computer, open up Resolve or whatever program, slow it down there, or at worst case scenario, go into like CapCut or one of the few mobile apps where you can change it to, 40% speed or whatever. But it's not a great experience. So I'm so excited because now I can go into my frame rates and we'll see a little O/S off to the right there. That stands for off speed. If I tap that, we can now see it's cut off when I'm holding my phone vertically. So what you're gonna do is tap on your frame rate, and first thing you're gonna wanna do is set your project frame rate. And for me, I set it to 24. This is important. So now I'm gonna set my off speed, and we can see on the right, there's a couple kind of quick access buttons, but I'm gonna go all the way to 60 because I want the most amount of slow-mo that I can do. It's like 40% or whatever. So now I can see in my frame rate in the top left, it's 60/24. So now if I record a clip here and I do something fast, I do whatever, and I grab something here and I drop it and throw it down and do all that. If I stop recording and now I play this back, we can see that it's saved in slow motion. Again, this is gonna save me so much time because a lot of times, especially with my phone, I like just shooting slow motion that's gonna be intended to be slow motion. And this is one less thing I have to take the footage off the phone, and now I can just post this stuff immediately. Now, a question I know a lot of people are gonna ask is, does that disable the audio? I don't know if I can tell because I am screen recording, so I'm going to turn off screen recording. Let me try again here. So I can see my audio meters going at the bottom. Testing, testing, recording this, recording sound. I'm not hearing anything on monitoring. Let me save this video to just like my Photos app. So I can see at the bottom, there's the no sound button there. So that's something to take note of. If you want to shoot slow motion, but you still want sound to be captured, turn off speed, and that way you'll just record at 60 FPS and you won't have immediate slow motion playback, but you will have audio. If you just want slow motion B-roll or whatever, you can turn off speed. You just won't have any audio source. I'll play around with to see if that can be changed in some way, but my guess is not. All right, and there you have it. I do believe that is all of the latest updates for the Blackmagic camera app. It's very cool to see this app just keep getting better, and I'll actually be in Seattle at the beginning of next month on June 8th. I'll actually be speaking on Blackmagic's behalf at a mobile filmmaking documentary event that's really cool. So if you're in that area, check out, you can grab some tickets in the description below. It's good to be back. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.